Remember Halo. Remember Halo. A lot of us remember Halo in a lot of fond ways.
You ever wonder what's up there? Like what?
Microsoft?
Maybe someone up there was wondering what it's like here. I guess. Do you think we'll meet them? I hope so.
Oh, I miss old
Don't
Bungie.
you?
The correct answer to the question, who is the worst game developer, is 343 Industries.
Was that Charlie? Is that a distorted Charlie I hear, like over a comm? Mike?
To the question, who is the worst game developer, is 343 Industries.
I do like that the Halo Mjolnir cosplay though. I always have loved Mjolnir armor. Yeah, have a good one.
Man, what a time to be a Halo fan.
The horrible choices that they've made by coming out and literally saying, hey, we did something different here, guys. We hired people that hated Halo to...
I think they get a lot of flack for this specifically, and that one's a little bit of a divisive one for me, because on one hand, you don't necessarily have to like what you're making, right? At the end of the day, it's a job. You're paid to do a job. So, for example, right, if I were hired to work on League of Legends, right, I'm not a huge League fan. I honestly like other things over League. I don't think that with everything else that's been in tow from 343, this is the right call, though. I think that that's one of those that they should definitely probably not have touted.
make Halo.
Hey, I mean, split screen be damned. Who cares?
I mean, that pissed a lot of people off. I mean, Halo 5 alone. And that's so here's the thing is, as a business, didn't 343 say that they would be, it was a mistake to not put it in 5 and they were going to put it in 6, but then they didn't put it in 6. I've, seen people online and talk to people like they want to just play Halo with, their daughter, right? They want to, share that co-op experience like him and his friends did, but they can't do that because, it's no longer split screen. It's lost that functionality and that ability. So, I mean, it's not a good look, all things considered, right? It's the concept of, one line is a point, or, 1 dot's a point, 2 dots, okay, you're starting to get a pattern here. 3 dots, okay, you have an ongoing pattern. Things are patternistic here. How many dots makes a straight line, though? So, yeah, that's one of those. Hey, good to see you. It's been a while.
At launch. Hold up. Did you just say no Forge at launch?
So many things were missing from previous Halos. It's as if the team forgot what works. No co-op campaign.
That was Angry Joe. I remember that. I think that was his Halo 5 review, if I remember correctly. No, I mean, he's absolutely right. So I called it back in when Halo 3 was the big thing, right? I remember going over to my buddy's house and we were playing it. And I'm like, Forge and Theater is what all games realistically need. And notice how Fortnite has a game recorder mode, right? Like, Forge and Theater, if you're wanting free advertisement for how good your game is, just put a Forge and Theater in it. Because you're going to get creative expression. You're going to get a lot of good positivity from it. And at the end of the day, it's free marketing, right? I mean, Red versus Blue started off as Machinima, right? It started off as, in Forge, in Theater, right? And look how it blew up into a business with Rooster Teeth, which, regardless of stance on that right now, right? It also did a lot to advertise for Halo. Because suddenly people wanted to do the funny RVB memes, right? And thus, they go play Halo and discover how good the game is.
At launch.
You can't even play custom games, it's broken. You can't even watch feeder mode because it's broken.
Oh, look at that. It's the Heads-Up armor set from Halo Reach. Unfortunately, I can't earn it in Halo Infinite. I have to pay $20.
There's no way they're gonna sell us the classic red color for $7. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind over this game. The promise of live service games and the we'll finish it later mentality. Are you out of your mind?
We're going backwards, guys. We're going backwards.
Yeah, that it's rated T. I thought we were going to get a flood return.
No.
I guess that's just not going to happen now.
You cannot let a team toil and mess around and goof off with your flagship IP for almost a decade.
Craig, We all love Craig.
It's just one thing after another with this company.
It is.
I think the fundamental difference between Bungie and 343 is the way that they were formed.
343 is death by 1,000 cuts. There's so much that they did, and there's also so much that they didn't do, and so many missteps that they took and just left us out to dry on. And I guarantee you there's going to be some, investors, shareholders, stockholders, execs like, oh, well, who needs this co-op? Why are we going to spend extra time on co-op when we could just monetize the damn thing? Take my money and let's get this out. Let's get this product out, right? I guarantee you there's people that affected it like that. And that's, that's a problem. It's a problem because to a lot of us, Halo is just more than a game. Halo was what a lot of us grew up with. Halo is a game that a lot of us had good memories with. We made excellent friends. And unfortunately, there's Spartans that aren't among us anymore. I said this at the end of my Halo Reach VOD. There are people that played Halo that just unfortunately aren't around anymore. Whether by, time, events themselves, they're not around. And it's one of those that we can all just collectively get together and have fun. I remember very vividly going onto Halo 3 server shutdown. And it was one of the best gaming experiences I've had in the past few years. It was nothing short of amazing. And I miss it. It hurts to see Halo in the current state it is. And as much as I loved Halo 5 for a lot of reasons, I actually liked the story. I'm in the minority of people. I liked the multiplayer. I thought it was the most polished MLG multiplayer type out of the most recent Halo games. And Infinite, while I did enjoy the story, the netcode just keeps driving me away. I can't stream it and host a custom lobby without the game disconnecting. It hurts because I want to play so bad, but it just doesn't feel good to play. And I think that's where a lot of people are at. Buckshot, thank you for the bits. I appreciate that. This is work of art, so to speak. You got to have people that are passionate about the art. For instance, Rockstar hired GTA 5 modders to work on GTA. Yes, you are correct, and I did see that comment. I was going to address that. Yes, you want to hire people that are passionate about it. Is it a requirement? Not necessarily, but it is one of those that it definitely goes a long way, especially in community rapport and all that.
343 was brought in to work on an existing franchise, an existing universe with an existing fan base on existing hardware.
Well, we feel really good about our Studio 343 that's working on Halo today, and it's one of those rare opportunities when you can build a team of people that are uniquely passionate about Halo.
The thing that I've heard in regards to the Slipspace engine, and take this with a grain of salt, let's put it this way, take this with a grain of salt. I don't have any insider information on this. I really don't. Through the grapevine, what I understand it as, due to the complexity of the Slipspace engine, and Microsoft, and I think 343 by extension, works on a contract system, meaning that allegedly they don't hire full-time employees. If that is true, they work on contracts. If their contract runs out, at that point they can go wherever, or they can just let them go because their tenure with that has concluded. So why this can become problematic as a practice when you don't have your cornerstone employees, you don't have, or I guess keystone employees, right? Where you don't have a solid full-time team, especially with the engine as complex and intricate as the Slipspace engine. By the time that the team, that these developers had finished working and getting used to the Slipspace engine, their contract had run out. So that means that the new contracted people are now having to start learning Slipspace from fresh again. And sure, while I guess a company, if this was the alleged practice that they allegedly do, right? Sure, while they could save money, it hurts production pipeline, it hurts deadlines, it hurts structural integrity, it hurts a lot in the name of it. Arguably, it costs dollars to save pennies, almost, I would argue. And it's very hard to get an accurate sales picture of Halo Infinite because, as far as I'm aware, the stat for downloads and installs is also taking into account the Games Pass statistic. So If to take that with a massive grain of salt, I'd be very open to citation on if this was the practice that they use and if this is in fact true, as well as having a discussion about the repercussions and ramifications of this. If this is true, I'm saying all this is allegedly true, or at least this is allegedly what happened. You know, this would lead to a problematic development cycle, and it's no wonder things are stuck in a development hell.
Many of these people grew up playing Halo.
That's probably completely unique, right? Is every single person there, their destination was Halo rather than a job.
You are on the cover of the new Bloomberg
Have you seen
Business
this?
Week here.
Look at that.
The real Master Chief.
Master Chief is human.
Yeah,
He's
he
not
is.
a machine. He's
No one-
not a set of armor with a big weapon.
No one argued this. Chief is still human. He has a lot of human interactions with Cortana. Are you going to tell me Halo 3 Chief didn't have his human moments? He didn't necessarily say a whole hell of a lot, but the way that he looked at certain, the way he looked in certain things, the way that, so for example, after the flood ship crashes down before Floodgate begins, right? And how he's shaking his head and, you know, he gets up and he's walking on over, right? I mean, you can tell he's kind of hurting there for a second, but he's got a job to do. There's a lot of subtleties to his mannerisms.
A human with resilience.
It's a chance for people who have played as Chief for so long to put the controller down, sit back on the couch, enjoy the experience of learning about the Chief in a way that you have never done before.
Like Marvel and Star Wars, Halo is a universe where hundreds of stories can be told and where millions of experiences can be shared.
We're not arguing
we
that.
want to expand the audience as far as we could, but still satisfy the core as much as possible.
Halo 4's loadout system frequently and sort of appropriately gets compared to other FPS games, including Call of Duty and others. And that's
I was honestly okay with the loadout system.
Reasonable sort of comparison.
I think Halo 5 is one of, if not the best multiplayer versions of Halo.
Jump up in the air.
I would argue that, yeah, it felt the most refined. Like, you're not going to, you know, Spartan charge, or you're not going to ground pound people because the tempo to actually get that off versus someone just smacking you is too large. However, I mean, I would argue it is the best Twitch FPS MLG experience that Halo did have to offer. This is coming from somebody that likes Halo 3. I like Halo 3 because it is a slower squad style FPS. And, you know, it's more like playing a game of chess with your team versus something like Halo Reach where you can lone wolf a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Turn my stabilizers on, these jets kick in. You can go back, forward, all directions. We're not really limiting these things.
It felt
We're actually
better.
allowing you to change it. You actually can
felt better than
bounce on
Infinite.
top of edges throughout the world.
Would be adding another clamber route.
Halo has always been synonymous with online competition. With Halo 5 Guardians, we are fully embracing that legacy with the biggest investment in Xbox esports history.
You know, making the decision to remove split screen was a really tough one for everyone here at 343.
Yeah, there's no flood in the game. Yeah, we're not dealing with the flood in this one. We got other surprises in store.
I mean, I probably didn't even find the Guardian. Like, so if the Guardians are in fact Precursor and Origin, and the Warden, because a lot of people were saying he's not even Forerunner. As far as I'm aware, he's not even Forerunner. He is the Domain, him, the Guardians, those are all Precursor. And there were so many things they could have set up with that. And maybe they covered them in comics. I'm not entirely sure at this point. I'm a little behind after some of 5. And, you know, it's cool to go into Infinite, and we potentially have offensive bias helping us out in the Silent Auditorium. And as far as I'm aware, you know, there's not any plans of DLC in the works, and this was supposed to be a Halo game for the next 10 years, right? So I think a lot of us are a little upset, even those that were excited for Infinite like me.
You're opening up a pack.
Warden's Forerunner? I thought I'd have to dig into that. I thought he was Precursor.
There it goes. Fuel rod cannon.
Yes.
All the details are.
I love it.
This is the first time.
Oh, so
yeah.
you're really hoping it doesn't crash, right?
That's fantastic.
Warden's part of
We've
that? Okay,
also
interesting.
had a lot of learnings along the way. You know, when we fell down with the multiplayer launch of MCC.
Well, so I will argue that, oh man, I used to remember this MCC screen. So this was an MCC was broken, wasn't it? So Warden, if Warden's Forerunner, I thought the Domain was Precursor, and at the very least, the Guardians were Precursor as well. The fact, and because people have had discussion in regards to why certain Forerunner structures look different. So in 4 and 5, we're dealing with the warring class of the Forerunners, right? We're dealing with their military class. versus something like Halo CE, Halo Infinite, how Infinite calls back to the more original. We're dealing with the builder class. Like on Zeta, we have, Master Builder Faba building the Halo rings, right? So it's construction. It's still Forerunner on each side of that, but are we dealing with the builder class that built the array, or are we dealing with like the Shield world and a lot of the tech that was inside of Requiem, right? Which would be the more military class.
Spent 20 minutes of searching. Nothing.
Yeah, this is
not a single
MCC
match.
used to be bad.
Welcome to the Master Chief Collection, where you get a black screen of death every 5 seconds, and then you spend your time just sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
There's not a single title on this entire disc that's working to form right now. Not a single title.
It's a lot better now.
That's the 343 guarantee.
It's a lot better now, but it's taken years to get to this point.
Is when they release a game, the shit is gonna suck and it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here for 40 minutes.
What? You can't do it. You can't play a match. 343 didn't earn this. That's why they don't care about it. They didn't earn this.
Resolving the current matchmaking issues in Halo the Master Chief Collection remains our top priority.
Why can't I get a match? It's been a week later. And this game still ain't fucking working, bro.
We know that some players are still seeing issues in-game, and we're committed to improving the experience with additional content updates in the near future.
We wonder, you have all these big companies wondering, why are people just review bombing us? Why are people so disillusioned, quote unquote? Why are people so upset? Because MCC launched in 2014? We've been sick of so much BS fed to us by the gaming industry for so many years at this point. A lot of us are just tired. A lot of us are just done with it. We want to play together. We want to have meaningful interactions with each other. And when it seems like they don't even care, yeah, it hurts. Because a lot of us have a lot of special memories of not just Halo. Old Call of Duties, old FPS games, even old RTS games, right? StarCraft. And it really feels like they just let us down. So yeah, when games like Baldur's Gate 3 by Larian come out, when games like Armored Core 6 come out, yeah, we jump on those and praise it because that should be the standard. A game that works, a game that functions. If you want to do day one patches and you want to do all, subsequent patches, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You can't start from a partial product and hope to build it to a correct one. Especially when you do it like Halo Infinite did, where you launch it, your season 1 is 90 days with potential extension? I can't remember, it's been too long. And you hardly have content in the shop. If you're going to make a live service, we expect the live service. You can't have it both ways. The moment you go to live service territory, you have to commit to the live service. You can't play halfway because it's just not going to work. And so, yeah, a lot of us ended up dropping out because of that.
I don't know why, but I think that they made it worse.
Probably. They probably did.
I bought an Xbox One just to play Halo.
Yeah.
And I have had the worst time with it.
It was incredibly crushing to let the fans down. It was supposed to be a love letter to the fans.
Yeah. I feel like this is her taking the fall. This allegedly is her taking the fall for the execs and the shareholders and the people that are the investors that don't know what they're doing.
And, we let them down.
Can we reveal anything about the next Halo FPS title today?
I think the only thing that will confirm, as we do listen to fans, there will be split screen.
All right. So
I wonder if this is class actionable. I wonder if this opens up Microsoft to liability. Because they did say, they later negged on it, but they did say that this was going to come out. Don't blame this on her. She's just the mouthpiece.
Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play and invite more of you than ever before to become a Spartan hero.
The Slipspace engine is really this labor of love for 343. We've invested heavily. It's going to be the foundation of our next 10 years of Halo experiences.
And that trailer that we did that's what Halo means to the studio.
We're a very competitive game. That's our DNA. That's who we are, right? You go back all the way to the very first Halo, right? Multiplayer. I mean, it is a highly competitive game.
Competition is kind of core to Halo.
I think that's where a lot of people actually get disillusioned. Is like, so here's the thing that actually, and I've been pretty vocal about this. Did you know the Mangler in Infinite got nerfed because of pro players? Because pro players were, what was the Mangler before? Someone's gonna have to refresh my memory. I think it was a 1-shot and then a melee, or was it 2-shot and melee? But they changed it so that it required an extra shot in there. And for players like me that want to play just campaign, maybe on like, heroic, legendary, sure, why not? It's okay to have, like OP things in the game. Why do you think the the hunter pistol from CE is so widely recognized? Why do you think, people meme about it and love it, right? But no, because the pro players say that the Mangler's BS in pro play, everyone gets a nerf Mangler. And I mean, as far as I'm aware, we're still having professional play. Like Cloud9, Optic, FaZe, they're still playing Halo Infinite multiplayer. And I'm just kind of boggled because it's just making me scratch my head because, like, it's clearly more popular than people are letting on. Badger was owning in his video. Yeah, absolutely. And you can, and I mean, we're running this in Destiny 2, where you have the top 1 to 5% of raiders saying Crota's End was easy in terms of contest mode. When, I sat in it for 6 hours in second encounter, having to teach up to 2 fire teams how to do it, and I still didn't do it, and I had barriers on me. So I'm a little sick at this point personally, and I think a lot of other people are, of just the top 1% of players ruining games for everyone else. Because at the end of the day, we're just gonna go to different games. We're just gonna do something different. It's not worth our time anymore. Halo was never a competitive game from the start. It was a party game. Yes, competitive did come in the scene, but it was never at its core. It was never the core of the statement in that BS. And the company says there's passionate about their. Yes, no, absolutely. And that's the thing, is that it was a fun community game. Who do you know outside of maybe a few select people say, let's go play Infinite Ranked? Let's go play MCC Ranked. I've never been able to get into an MCC Ranked match. I think my elo is just too low. So it's already, I've never been able to get into a match. So how many times have you said people told you, let's go play Duck Hunt. Let's go play Jenga. Let's go play Infection. Let's go play SWAT, right? It's almost like there's an inherent bias towards the casual game types. And most people don't really care about the MLG competitive side of it. Just food for thought.
Will there be playable elites in Halo Infinite?
No, we're not currently planning on supporting elites as a playable character. And the reason is, this is a Spartan story. We focus on how Spartans battle against each other and that it feels fair and it's competitive.
We have had to make the difficult decision not to ship campaign split screen co-op.
At that point, I think that was the selling point. At that point, this is the Overwatch 2 gotcha moment. Where, we're not doing the PvE mode like we said we were. I think this is the gotcha moment, and I think this can be attributed to 343's swift decline after this. I just, it's hard to, when you promise it and you don't ship it, okay, and no one's held accountable. Yeah, a lot of us are going to be a little upset. We were told at the very least this was going to be a thing. And then you just decided, no, we're not going to do it. Fans have a right to be upset by this.
Folks have asked us, are they in? Are they out? What's going on with assassinations? So what's the scoop there?
So they're not in for launch, and I think we're just going to be straight about that, right?
Is there a plan to bring back dual wielding in Halo Infinite?
No.
Currently, no. That's not in the cards right now.
It'd be too aggressive of a meta game. From a gameplay standpoint, dual wielding did open up a far more aggressive meta. Don't get me wrong, I see why people like it, but no.
We want to share the exciting news that we got the official confirmation that Halo Infinite has gone gold.
Let's go.
We made the really tough decision to delay shipping campaign co-op for launch. And we also made the tough call to delay shipping Forge past launch as well.
This has to be
and
investors.
As developers, when you work on a game, you want to get that game out there. And that almost seems like, for us, that's the finish line. But in reality, it's going to be the starting line.
None of us inside of 343 look at this roadmap and are happy with it.
2 seasons a year doesn't cut it. It's just not going to
Oh, shit. Do they still even have a roadmap? I wonder if that's even still visible anymore. No. Like, there's so much that went wrong with this.
That's not what our players deserve. It's not what they expect.
You're right. It's not what we deserve. It's not what we expect. Especially when you sell us on split screen being shipped with the game. Like, to clarify, this is not me being angry at the individuals. This is me being angry at a large company that is going to have people make these promises, ultimately break those promises because of alleged investor, shareholder input who aren't game devs, and no one's held accountable. They'll just dissolve the studio, they'll just disband the studio and keep the game on life support, which, as far as I'm aware, Halo Infinite currently is. So, yeah, we have a right to be upset when you sell us and you sell us on this vision and you don't want to follow through with it. So, yeah, we're going to go play Baldur's Gate. Yeah, people are going to play Destiny 2 because at the very least, people are looking forward to Final Shape right now. Now, after Final Shape, after that raid, is a whole different story because a lot of people are going to be out even before Final Shape, which it's very interesting to see the parallels between Bungie and 343 here. So, yeah, we didn't deserve that. And honestly, this really was unacceptable.
Not what our team wants to do. It's not what I want to do.
No roadmap?
There's just been a lot of introspective time to really reflect on, like, what have we done as 343? Where have we made mistakes? Where have we hit it right? And then what does Halo mean to all of us? And then also I would just say, don't sweat the mistakes, because I would say that every failure point has probably been an opportunity versus really a failure.
I think the coolest thing about Bungie, though, one of our best traditions, is that everybody here really cares.
Oh, this is old Bungie.
And it's important to them. They do it well, and that's what makes them happy.
Oh, man.
Hey, everybody. So I'm Jason. I'm one of the co-founders of Bungie and the lead on Halo.
Microsoft estimated that they have sold 1 million copies of Halo in the US alone.
I can't imagine this anymore. Chat, this takes me back. I can't imagine this anymore. This, ever since COVID happened, I can't even visualize this anymore. I can't, it's been so long since I've seen gamers that excited. And not, like the Final Shape teaser when people saw Cade 6, right? People were hyped. And you see E3 press conference and stuff, and people are hyped for that. And while that is fanfare, it's not the same. It's not the same as seeing this. And honestly, if you are over a certain, or I guess under a certain age, maybe you weren't quite at an event like this, or maybe you don't quite understand. And I know I wasn't at one of these because I didn't have that upbringing. I didn't have the ability to. I did go to pre-orders, and I know people that went to these. It's depressing is what it is. Can you imagine somebody being this excited about a game anymore? It's almost like a foreign thought at this point. It's almost like it's completely... It's a shadow of a thought is what it is. Yeah, no, 14 FanFest, yeah.
Microsoft estimated that they have sold 1 million copies of Halo in the US alone. 50% of Xbox owners are also Halo players.
Yeah.
I know there's one game on everybody's mind right now. Well, fellas,
there it is.
November the 9th, the launch of Halo 2 will also mark one of the biggest video game launches in history.
Yeah, it was big. Magazines, 7-Eleven, a lot of places were advertising this. I remember seeing this on Not Gaming magazines back in the day. Look at this dude. Look at this dude in the armor with the flag.
proximity voice. You can get close to somebody in a game and talk to them, and only that person can hear you.
I'm gonna want P1.
Wow, that brings me back.
We didn't even know how big Halo was going to get.
No.
How can anything be bigger than Halo?
Actually, Peter, as we walk off stage, I think there's something that'd be fun to show these people.
Oh, that's Gates. I actually knew somebody, and I can't necessarily say too much on the subject. I used to know somebody, or I talked to somebody in a professional capacity who apparently helped Bill Gates in a professional capacity. I can't reveal too much on that. It was very interesting, and I did thank the individual for helping Bill Gates with the work that they did do, because I told him I became a Halo insider, and I couldn't have done that without his help in the past. Everyone has a story to tell. There it is.
This is the way the world ends.
Yeah, it was that big.
This is the end of our trilogy.
This is going to be the end of the story.
Safe Film and Forge, I think, represent the coolest features that we have in Halo 3. This is the stuff that's going to keep people playing for years on end, make 1 billion hours, get logged on Xbox Live.
I remember when that map went out. I remember when the lights on it did start going out on that server sunset. I know that map very well.
It's finished.
It's finished.
I'll miss you.
Wake me when you need me.
And that's why a lot of us love Halo. I understand that a lot of people are hurt. I understand that a lot of people aren't happy with Infinite, me included. I think the netcode is still absolutely atrocious. And it's hard to understate why I love Halo and how much I love Halo and how much I want it to succeed. But it just, people don't want it to succeed. There's many reasons for that. Many videos detailing the fall of 343, detailing the fall of Microsoft. And it hurts. It hurts to know that so many people who fell in love with this franchise have watched it actively turn its back. And I really I'm lost for words. It's depressing is what it is. But understand that when we say we want Halo to be good, and why we continue to just clamor and scream that we want this game to be good. We want Halo to be good again. That's why. You saw all those people in those streets. You saw people being genuinely happy for the launch of Halo 2, genuinely roaring for Halo 3. You see people that have an absolute favorite game in Halo 3 ODST. You have people who, like me, played so much Reach in high school, and honestly, it was an escape for a lot of it. I made a lot of friends through Halo, and I had a lot of fun with Halo, and I felt it was my obligation to play that final night when Halo 3 was shutting down. And while I might have botched the footage and didn't get the audio, unfortunately, I remember it fondly. And I played as long as I could before I had to go to sleep and go to my job in the morning. But it's special to me, and I would play it more. It's just in a state that it's not really popular. And as somebody who, while I can't, I can't necessarily throw metrics to the side, it just gets a little hard. But what are your thoughts? What is your best Halo memory? What are your thoughts on Halo? What are your thoughts on Forge and Theater being staple in games? Let me know in the comments section. And, pour one out for all our Spartan homies that are no longer with us.